Hello, it's February 17th, 2026. Welcome to this week's episode of the Commerce Riff with the CPG Guys. It's our weekly short segment, bite-sized, 10 minutes of content, audio and video. We hope you enjoy our curated stories. I'm your co-host, PVSB. I'm joined by Papa Raj, the father of pop stars and CRO of Think Blue Consulting. Shri, how are you?
Well, man, it was a crazy January. We were at so many industry events. Doesn't look like February is going to slow down because we're actually at CAGNY. We're actually watching presentations from the world's largest CPG brands, CEOs, CFOs, and we're actually going to interview. And we're not going to say who, but we have a surprise podcast coming with senior leaders from here. And then we go to E-Tail Palm Springs, and then SOCOM Live in Los Angeles, Shop Talk over here before you blink. But Peter, today I want you to tell me what's going on with Flywheel and what's something big you're focused on?
Well, Shri, lots going on at Flywheel these days. Onboarding a couple of new enterprise clients. I'm working on the Flywheel Client Advisory Board. There's so much to happen in the next couple of months. At Flywheel, our sister company, Omni, is kicking off. They introduced their capabilities, the combined universal ID through the IPG acquisition, notably Axiom. So lots going on, but I should also mention, with respect to our trip to CAGNY, one thing that we didn't mention, we will, is that we're actually going to, as you know, we do report on it, and we typically do daily posts on LinkedIn from this event, but we're actually going to be writing a column through Retail Media IQ's mass market retailer newsletter and website, where we'll talk about everything we're seeing at CAGNY. So please watch our LinkedIn pages for links to all that content. And of course, at the end of the event, we'll provide you with access to all of the presentations in a single download. So pretty great stuff going on, Shri. All right, I'll kick off the first story. Elon Musk's Grok is having a moment. The AI chatbot jumped from 1.6 to 15.2% market share among daily U.S. users between January 2025 and 2026, according to Apptopia. That puts it third behind ChatGPT and Gemini and ahead of Copilot, Perplexity, DeepSeek, and Claude, my personal favorite. But here's where it gets messy. Grok's big surge came in early January 2026, right when word got out that it would generate explicit images of people, including minors. Downloads doubled from 500K to nearly 1 million daily, and market share jumped from 12 to 15.2% in a month. User demographics tell the rest of the story. 82% of Grok's weekly users are male over the past 6 months. Compare that to ChatGPT at 50%, Gemini at 45%, and even Claude at 78%. Grok's built features specifically for this audience. Musk's leaned in, posting Grok-generated videos of women professing their love. This isn't just Grok. OpenAI is planning adult mode for ChatGPT in the coming months. When they retired the beloved GPT 4.0 model this week, users mourned online. One called it a criminal offense. OpenAI also fired a policy exec who opened adult mode last month, though they say that's not why. The content matters. In all honesty, as these AI companies race to go public, engagement and everything, SpaceX just acquired XAI and could IPO as soon as June, potentially beating OpenAI to the public markets. The pressure to sustain growth is creating some rather uncomfortable product decisions. Shri?
Why am I not surprised whatsoever that this is the path that these tools would head down? So from Grok and Elon Musk, we jump to Roku, which saw platform revenue, a segment of the business that includes advertising, rise 18% year over year to a record $1.22 billion in Q4. According to an earnings statement they released, platform revenue grew at the same rate for full year 2025 to a whopping $4.15 billion, driven by momentum in video advertising and streaming ad distribution. Roku claims its video advertising gains outpaced the broader over-the-top and digital ad markets in the U.S. last year, citing Standard Media Index data. There's still a lot of ad dollars that is in the traditional linear ecosystem. Peter and I believe that too, but still moving to streaming, said Roku CEO Anthony Wood on a call discussing the results with investors. We're taking, I would say, more than our fair share of those dollars. Roku, which acts as a media distributor and also operates its own streaming services, including the ad-supported Roku channel, is the #1 streaming TV platform in the US, Canada, and Mexico. based on hours streamed per the hypothesis group findings cited in the release. Roku's ads has been supported by scaling its self-service ads manager targeted at small and mid-sized businesses. Lola V, the hair care brand owned by Jennifer Aniston, recently used Roku Ads Manager for its first TV campaign and actually saw a whopping 40% lift in sales, according to Roku. I remember having this conversation on Roku going to its own self-supported platform away from managed services 3 years ago on the CPG Guys. SMBs were estimated to spend as much as $640 billion last year per an Intuit report underpinning the size of the market opportunity. Roku pointed to generative AI tools and partnerships like the one with Spaceback, which converts social video into TV ads as accelerants for ad managers' growth. Roku also worked to build out its ad tech relationships last year, including through a major deal with Amazon Ads that aims to provide the largest authenticated connected TV audience footprint in the US. Asked about the Amazon Pack, Roku executive said it's still early innings, but a key piece of a larger strategy to enhance marketing performance and improve industry operability through partnerships. Roku also works with Yahoo DSP, The Trade Desk, AppLovin, Whirl, and Magnite on the advertising front. But specific to Amazon, the Amazon DSP grows and becomes and is successful, which we think it will be successful along with, said Roku CFO and COO Dan Jetta. Over to you, Peter, for the next one.
Sri, that story was very shocking to me. I had no idea that Jennifer Aniston had a hair care line. I think that if they're using Amazon Marketing Cloud, they're about to get a new-to-brand customer. All right. Albertsons has joined a pilot program run by OpenAI to explore how conversational advertising formats presented through ChatGPT can drive better consumer experiences, the grocer announced on Thursday. The grocer is beginning its involvement in the test with ads linked to Valentine's Day. People who enter phrases such as best flowers for Valentine's Day might see ads for an Albertsons banner in their area. Albertsons' participation in the pilot program follows other steps the company has taken to integrate agentic and generative AI tools into its operations. Albertsons said its retail media unit, Albertsons Media Collective, friends of this podcast, would be looking to help brands reach shoppers through ChatGPT as the pilot program progresses. Quote, "We're focused on advertising that enhances the customer journey instead of interrupting it. By testing ads in ChatGPT, we're growing our engagement with new customers and continuing to connect with our current customers in meaningful ways," unquote. Jennifer Sains, Albertsons chief commercial officer, said in a statement. In a description of the pilot on its website, OpenAI says advertisements do not influence the answers ChatGPT generates. The company added that it does not share people's conversations with advertisers and will always label ads as sponsored and visually separate them. Our goal is for ads to support broader access to more powerful ChatGPT features while maintaining the trust people place in ChatGPT for important and personal tasks, OpenAI said. OpenAI noted that the test is for adult users who log in to the ChatGPT system through its free and go subscription tiers, while its Plus Pro Business, Enterprise, and Education tiers will not have advertisements. Albertsons' decision to step up its partnership with OpenAI comes as the grocer's adoption of artificial intelligence technology to engage with shoppers sees early signs of success. Shoppers are showing strong interest in AI-based tools the company has introduced, driving double-digit basket growth, the company says. Albertsons' AI-based tools include an agentic AI shopping assistant on its websites that it announced last December. Early in 2025, the company launched an online search tool known as Ask AI that allows shoppers to ask questions about products. Shri, it makes me think of the Claude advertisement during the Super Bowl, where they said Claude never has and never will have advertisements in it. Over to you.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't believe any one of those things. Anyway, here's a big one. KraftHeinz on Wednesday said it's pausing work on its previously announced plans to split the company. CEO Steve Cahillane, who joined KraftHeinz in January, said in the statement that many of the company's issues are fixable and within our control. My number one priority is returning the business to profitable growth, which will require ensuring all resources are fully focused on the execution of our operating plan, he said. As a result, we believe it's prudent to pause work related to the separation and will no longer incur related dis-synergies this year. KraftHeinz also plans to invest $600 million to fuel a turnaround of its U.S. businesses. The company plans to spend the money on its marketing, sales, research and development. The investment will go forward and towards product superiority and select pricing according to Kahiline, the sign of our times, Peter, price pack architecture. In September, the company announced plans to break up, reversing much of the blockbuster $46 billion merger from a decade ago that created one of the biggest food companies in the world. While investors originally cheered the merger, the lackluster performance of the joint company and its fading luster as the combined company's U.S. sales slipped, it wrote down many of its iconic brands like the famous Oscar Mayer and Maxwell House Coffee. For at least 6 years, KraftHeinz has been in turnaround mode trying to revive its U.S. businesses. Warren Buffett, who helped mastermind the deal, said he was disappointed in the decision to split. Berkshire Hathaway, under the new CEO, Greg Abel, for those of you who don't know, Warren did step down late last year. CEO Greg Abel has since taken a formal step towards unwinding its 28% stake in KraftHeinz. We support CEO Steve and the KraftHeinz board of directors' decision. Under Steve's new leadership, he should pause work on the company's previously planned separation. As a result, management can commit to strengthening KraftHeinz's ability to compete and serve customers. Abel said in a statement, for years, KraftHeinz has underinvested in its brands. Executives appeared unwilling to change that strategy. Piper Sandler analyst Michael Lavery wrote in a note to clients on Wednesday, this appears to have changed with the hiring of Steve, who has reshaped their 2026 plans and proposed split, and much more significantly than we had expected in just the 6 weeks since he started as the CEO. Lavery said, we still believe this remains a show-me story, and this is only the first step in getting KHC in a position for sustainable growth, which still looks unlikely to come anytime soon. But not everyone on Wall Street was sold on the reversal Wednesday. Shares of KraftHeinz fell as much as 5% in early trading before rebounding to trade essentially flat. We'll see what comes out of CAGNY. We'll be eagerly looking forward to that one because I'm sure there'll be a lot of conversation on it. Take us home, Peter.
Sheree, I think this just says to you and me, we got to stick around with each other for another 560 episodes or so. What do you say? All right, as we wrap up, a reminder to catch up with our recently released episodes. We have one featuring Justin Hahnemann from Amazon Web Services, and of course, our very own Super Bowl ad recap by yours truly and Papa Raj, aka Shree. Watch out for our summary of CAGNY presentations Tuesday through Friday of next week. You can find it on Mass Market Retailer's website. They'll have it in their newsletter. Those will be released very shortly. All right, folks, that's our take on relevant commerce happenings from so many announcements this past week we thought were meaningful and could not be passed off for a riff. We hope you enjoyed it. Please do click like our posts on all platforms. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and now YouTube. See you next week.
The content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.